Hey everyone, my name is Jake and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to be looking at some Choosing Beggars stories, so sit back, relax and enjoy. How I lost a friend of 5 years in 5 minutes by being lost and in a hurry. I met my friend Betty in the psych ward. Looking back, I suppose that was foreshadowing. I was there visiting someone else and we three hit it off right away. Smart, funny and kind. She is a disabled mother of 3 boys, as am I. We share a lot of interests. Though we never were able to spend a lot of time together, both being busy mothers, what time we did spend together was really good, and we came to rely on one another for help. The car won't start and the kids need a ride to school? Call Betty. It's 3 days before payday and I don't have enough to pay for this medicine? Call Betty. I found a dead body? Call 911, then call Betty. Twice, not kidding. Now, Betty has problems. Betty had an absolute awful home life growing up, and it explains a lot, but I do believe you are still responsible for your choices and behavior. Over the last 6 months, Betty's life has been spiraling out of control. Man problems, money problems, teenager problems involving police, house problems. She has needed more and more help from me and has been less and less able to help me when I need it. But hey, tough times and I'm glad to be in a position to help when I can. Betty wound up homeless, and trying to be a good friend, I helped her as much as I could. I helped her clean, pack, and move her things into storage using my van. Having no other option, she and her kids went to stay with her parents. Her car immediately broke down in their driveway. Trying to be a good friend, I offered to give her rides. I can't give you a place to stay, but I can get you where you need to be. Just let me know ahead of time. Now, I'm a widowed mother of 3 teenagers, one of whom is severely disabled. I've got my own bad life story. 2 of my boys go to 2 different schools with 2 different schedules. The disabled one stays home and sometimes has caregivers. He requires supervision 24/7, and I'm the only one driving. We have multiple doctor and therapy appointments weekly, so although I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm busy. Betty is aware of all this boring minutiae of my life. One evening she calls. I've been driving her around regularly and she left some things in my van and needs them. If her friend brings her up, can she get them and borrow $40? The person bringing her needs gas money and she needs cigarettes. I don't have $40 tonight, but I get paid tomorrow. I don't have enough gas to get to you and back, but I can bring you everything in the morning. She asks again if there's any way I can help. My gas light is on and I have 3 cents in the bank. I get paid in the morning. I'm sorry, hun, I just don't have it tonight, but I can come tomorrow. Alright, thank you anyway. Yes, please come in the morning to drop off my stuff. I can pay you back next Friday. A couple of things about me. I have face blindness. The part of my brain that is supposed to recognize faces doesn't work due to a neurological disorder. I rely on things like voice and hair and the way they move and what they're wearing to recognize people. For me, it also means I have problems with my directions. I get lost very easily and rely on my phone to tell me where to go. Betty is aware of this and has always been extremely understanding of it and patient, helpful, and accommodating to me. Also, I have been the primary caregiver to my severely disabled son since he was born. I quit working to take care of him. Friends drifted away, busy living their own lives and not understanding the level of care my child required. When he was 8, his father, my husband, became disabled, and then I was taking care of them both. For 10 years, I was a full-time caregiver to 2 disabled people, while raising 2 other children and dealing with my own significant health problems. and running our household alone. I became my brain-damaged husband's caregiver rather than his partner. Isolated is a good description. Severely depressed is another good description. I don't have many friends. The dearest friend I did have was one of the bodies I found. My husband was the other. I called Betty in the morning with a full tank of gas and cash in hand. I had an hour between appointments, which was easily enough time to get there and back. Except Betty didn't know the address of where she was. Everyone else there was asleep, and she didn't want to wake them. I had only been there once, and I had made some wrong turns on the way, so there was no way I could get there myself. My brain just doesn't want to work that way. She gave me the nearest intersection to put in my phone and said, "When you get there, call me and I'll guide you in." Cool. I get there, I call, Betty doesn't know the name of the street I should turn into next, but it's the second light, or maybe the third. It's after McDonald's, or was it KFC? My stress level shoots through the roof. I'm lost, I'm driving around aimlessly trying to recognize anything at all. I only have about 20 minutes before I have to leave for my next appointment, and it's a really important one. Is that the playground from the apartment complex she's in? How do I get there from here? She's trying to help, but she's also getting her 3-year-old dressed, and I can hear her tell him to get his shoes and coat. Wait, you're not coming with me, are you? You just asked me to drop off your stuff. I have an appointment I can't be late for. Yeah? You said I could have a ride whenever I need one. Well, yeah, but we have to set it up ahead of time. Fine. You know what? Never mind. I'm not feeling it. Betty, I'm happy to give you a ride. I just don't have the time right now. You didn't say you needed a ride, you just asked me to drop off your stuff and loan you money. I mean, if it has to be now, you can come with me to my appointment, but you'd have to get in the car quickly, and it doesn't sound like you're ready to go, but I can come back later this afternoon. She blew up. I was being mean. I was mocking her. I had waited, just like everyone else in her life, to kick her when she was down. I was a witch. It wasn't her fault I was too stupid to find my way to a place I've been to before. Never had she ever spoken to me this way before. Shocked, I didn't know how to respond, but also I saw the turn into the playground and took it. And then I saw the parking area I had parked in before. Finally, phew, I knew where I was. "I'm here, come get your stuff." I hung up on her, shaking. I tucked $60 into her bag and set her things out on the sidewalk. I texted her where the money was to make sure she'd find it, and I got back in my car and shut the door. She came out in her pajamas and started screaming at me. What was my problem? I was a witch. If I didn't want to give her a ride, why did I say I would? There was no call for me to speak to her that way. I called her things? How dare I? Her things are important. There was no reason for me to treat her this way. Betty, I'm literally here to help you, doing exactly what you asked me to do. I'm not treating you any kind of way. At this point, I'm shaking so badly I don't really want to drive, and I feel like I'm going to vomit. She's screaming on the grass, waving her arms around, throwing her body from side to side. We're attracting a crowd. I'm glad I'm inside the car because if I was outside with her, I would feel physically threatened. She's much larger than I am, though I can run and she cannot. Own your stuff. You did this. No wonder you don't have any friends. Own your stuff. Own your stuff. She starts screaming it over and over. I drive away, shaking, crying, confused, angry, and deeply hurt. She's posting regularly to Facebook, so she's got power and Wi-Fi. Beyond that, I don't know. I hope she gets her stuff together and makes a decent life for herself, but that's not up to me. I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry things ended this way, but if I'm being really honest, there's a relief in not feeling obligated to help her anymore. I'm focusing on my own stuff, going to therapy, trying to get better, and trusting that whenever I'm ready, I'll find healthy new friends I will meet from my healthy new place. I've gotta say, that sounds really stressful, taking care of 2 people full-time, as well as 2 kids, and then yourself on top of that. Like, OP is really strong for being able to do that. But I definitely do wish OP the best. Customer tells me I can give my baby's old clothes to her. Okay, so, I work at a buffet as a server. There was this girl who worked there for a week, then got fired. Now, she comes in twice a week with her messy kids and trashes whatever section she's in whilst she eats. I was unfortunate enough to have her in my section. The whole time they were there, her kids got plate after plate of food without eating any of it, just throwing and smearing it everywhere, whilst Mum was on her phone. And these are not toddlers, these are school-aged children. I just grin and bear through the meal, cause it was a slow day anyways. Well, as they're leaving, the son tips me $2 with his own money. Sweet, I know. I gave it back. And then his mum comes up to me and says, "Hey, weren't you pregnant? How's your baby?" And I smile and say yes, and that he's good, thinking she's actually interested. Then she says, "Is he still in newborns? I really need some newborn clothes." I tell her yes, as he was only 4 weeks old at the time, and barely 8 pounds. And she says, "Can I give you my number so that you can give them to me when he grows out of them finally? I don't have the money for baby stuff right now." What? I was gonna give away his clothes to a mum in need, or the women's shelter anyway, but for some random woman who just trashed my table and let her child give me a tip with his own money to expect me to give her my baby stuff for free completely took me off guard. Not to mention, if you don't have enough money to buy your unborn baby clothes, you either shouldn't be having a baby or you shouldn't be eating out at a buffet that costs $18 a person. I was baffled. She must be looking to like resell them, right? There's no way she actually wants them for a kid. She must be thinking, oh, it's easy money, if I get them for free I can sell them for like $5 extra. But yeah, eating at a buffet for $18 if you couldn't afford it, You must teach my little daughter Korean in the tram now. So this happened this morning. I had an exam today for Korean proficiency. For university, not topic. I get on my tram, get out my notebook, and start revising, since it takes me 30 to 40 minutes to arrive. In comes a mum with a little girl already crying, even though it's still like 7 AM. She sat down next to me and put her little Satan spawn on her legs. 5 minutes of cries from hell later, and yelling from her mum, they both stop and look over at my notebook. They were just staring, so I didn't mind, even though I'm pretty sure they understood nothing. After a while, the kid seems interested in what I'm learning and asks the mum. She turns over to me and asks, "Care to explain what language this is?" I obviously say, "Korean, I have an exam today." The demon started telling again, "Mum, I want to learn Korean too. Can you teach her some words? I know you're studying for an exam, but she seems to really want to." I'm intermediate level, so it's not basic words. I simply decline because my bus stop is in like 10 minutes. Come on, it can't be that hard. It looks like noodles. It's so stupid. She says this and slightly grabs the edge of my notebook, lightly pulling it. At this point, I'm just getting annoyed and I try to get up. I would prefer standing up for the rest of the ride than to deal with her and her child. She barely gives me the space to squeeze out and asks, "Where are you going? Aren't you going to teach her?" I just mumbled, "No, sorry," and went to the other side of the tram. Behind me, I heard, "Mummy," and crying again, but I didn't care. I got on my stop and continued with my day. I would also say that's definitely an entitled parent story right there. If you ask someone on the bus and they say yes, then sure, that's a nice thing to do. But if they say no, then just say, "Oh, my bad, you can keep on revising." Like, it could be an important test. Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a really good day so far and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more videos like it, then click on screen right now and remember to subscribe if you haven't already. But I will see you very soon.